What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 123. I am your host, your very sick host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello. Connor, it feels like we have not recorded in ages.
No, yeah, the last person I recorded with was Phil, so it feels like I
Indeed.
haven't. It feels like it's kind of messed up our schedule.
Yeah.
we didn't have our piggy bank, so it's kind of just I almost gotten used to that.
No. Well, I was out of town last week for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to everybody at home, man. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I had turkey. I had mashed potatoes.
Very nice. Very nice.
You know, the usual stuff.
The classics, yeah.
Yeah.
We're a brisket and sweet and yams, sweet potato yams.
Yeah.
Family ourselves, but we had the green beans, we had the regular mashed potatoes, we had all the goods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hope everyone else had a good one too and didn't have dry turkey or any other kind of meat.
Yeah, that would suck. No, yeah, that's why we avoid the turkeys because we don't appreciate that bird. But yeah, I was out in Chicago. Spending time with some family. Girlfriend met some family. That was very nice. Went very, very smooth.
Nice.
Just got a little sick about halfway through. Probably some climate change, sinuses. It's been a mess, and you can still hear it. I'm still nasally and so forth. But that's not going to stop us from giving you all the news. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, me and Connor get together, and we each give you two topics, two pennies, if you will, concerning the video game industry, and we give you our 2 cents on them. The show goes live every Monday, 8 a.m. Central, like I already said. YouTube.com/2pennygames and mainstream podcast services of your choice, the Spotifys, the Google Podcasts, the Apple Podcasts. We're up on SoundCloud for a little while longer, it looks like. But
I didn't even know that.
if just talking about video games isn't enough, every Tuesday we put out a hype video, Have You Ever Played, in which me and my good buddy Phil sat down over a year ago now at this point, and we showed each other video games that the other has never played before. Currently, right now, we're working our way through the Kingdom Hearts 2 series, so you can go and check that out right now. Also live on the channel right now, while I was out of town, you and Phil filmed a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, is that it? Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah, Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, whichever one's
getting
coming
myself
first.
too.
Review that's live on the channel right now. The audio's a little messed up because we have some first timers over here, but that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, Phil unfortunately messed up the audio, and unfortunately, I'll have to tell him to do better in the future. But we can't hope for things sometimes.
That's fine. Phil's audio sounds good. He was our main reviewer on that, so you can go check that out right now, or just wait around to the end of the podcast where it'll be stitched onto this. Just sorry about the audio quality for a little bit. We did our best to try and edit it out, but it just doesn't seem to want to cooperate with us. But Connor, let's go ahead. Let's get right into the news. All right. We're jumping into our first penny here. Yeah, it seems busy, but I think that's just because we missed a full week. Because also, I totally forgot our Game Awards predictions was our episode last week because we pre-recorded, so we didn't have all the news of the week. But now we've got 2 weeks worth of news, and now we got who cares? But we just missed a week. All right, guys, we missed a week. But Game Awards predictions, go listen to that. We got a little heated on that one. Just a little bit. It's all good. All friendly.
That makes it fun.
It was just passionate, impassioned debates. But anyways, let's get right into it. First topic of the day. Feds likely to challenge Microsoft over $69 billion Activision takeover. This is from Politico. Josh Sisko. The Federal Trade Commission is likely to file an antitrust lawsuit to block Microsoft's $69 billion takeover of video game giant Activision Blizzard, maker of the hit games Call of Duty and Candy Crush, according to 3 people with knowledge of the matter. A lawsuit would be the FTC's biggest move yet under Chair Lina Khan to rein in the power of the world's largest technology companies. It would also be a major black mark for Microsoft, which has positioned itself as a white knight of sorts on antitrust issues in the tech sector after going through its own grueling regulatory antitrust battles around the world more than 2 decades ago. A lawsuit challenging the deal is not guaranteed, and the FTC's 4 commissioners have yet to vote out a complaint or even meet with lawyers for the companies, 2 of the people said. However, the FTC staff reviewing the deal are skeptical of the company's arguments, those people said. The investigation remains ongoing, but much of the heavy lifting is completed, including depositions of Microsoft's chief executive Satya Nadella and Activision head Bobby Kotick. The people with knowledge of the investigation said, if the agency does not move ahead with a case, it could come as soon as next month, said the people, all of whom were granted anonymity to discuss a confidential matter. Central to the FTC's concern is whether acquiring Activision would give Microsoft an unfair boost in the video game market. Microsoft's Xbox is number 3 to the industry-leading Sony Interactive Entertainment and its PlayStation console. Sony, however, has emerged as the deal's primary opponent, telling the FTC and regulators in other countries that if Microsoft made hit games like Call of Duty exclusive to its platform, Sony would be significantly disadvantaged. We'll get more into that later. The FTC declined to comment. Connor? The government's getting involved in our games here.
Yeah, and I can't really blame them because looking at this, obviously monopolies aren't a good thing, and fighting against them should be the prime directive of anyone because they just are not good for competition. They're not good for the industry. They're not good for consumers. So seeing this major deal about to go down, it makes sense that the government would step in and try and stop it. But at the same time, as we've talked about on this show before, Blizzard sucks. Activision Blizzard is not good. They treat their workers badly. Everyone obviously knows about the story that broke about how the Blizzard employees were facing horrible conditions and abuse by some of their own coworkers and executives, management and whatnot. And we haven't really seen any justice served in that department. So it kind of got to a point where with Microsoft buying out or attempting to buy out Activision Blizzard, that was going to be our best avenue for things to change for that company. Because, like I said, nothing's really changed as far as we can tell. But we do know that Microsoft actually deals with this stuff in a good way overall. They're one of the better companies in the industry that treat their employees with a modicum of respect. And they treat them well. And they wouldn't tolerate the things that have been going on at Blizzard Activision for some time now. So we were hoping that when they were to get bought out, those things would change, all of the bad people would be pushed out, and the company can kind of go through a revolution of sorts. But unfortunately, that might not happen if the government decides to take this further, which comes with its negatives and comes with its pros. But overall, I think this is not the best thing to happen. A very special circumstance like this. I usually would never say this, but in this specific instance, it'd be kind of better for Microsoft to take over Activision Blizzard than let them go on as their own separate entity, because obviously they haven't been doing a good job at that. I don't know what your thoughts on this are. I'm pretty sure they're similar, but
I think this is pretty much a non-story until we see something actually happen. And even if this does happen, I don't think they have a lot of water to be held here. Like I just don't. Though the Activision Blizzard purchase would, give Microsoft a huge benefit, it doesn't make them a monopoly. There's too many other head competitors in the game. You think of PlayStation, you think of Nintendo, you think of EA, you think of less so now, but you think of Square Enix, you think of the Embracer Group. There's a lot of different companies out here, big players, and the indie market is thriving. You think of any Devolver Digital published game, there's really just nothing like this. That we're closer than we've ever been to any type of monopoly of any kind, but we're still pretty far away. A lot of things do have to happen, and a lot of major players have to get taken off the board in order to even consider this a full monopoly. And overall, I just really hope it doesn't go through, and I hope it's not blocked, and I hope it's not delayed, because I do think Microsoft would do a whole lot for Activision Blizzard's work culture. And I think PlayStation throwing a fit like it is, one, they have to for business reasons, and two, is some bitch shit. Like, just to put it bluntly and plainly, like, come on, guys, y'all are fine. And we'll get into some more of that here in a second, even though it's humorous in its own way. But yeah, overall, I don't think any of this is really anything to be taken seriously. It's just, that headline of, the feds are coming for Microsoft is an appealing headline. That's an attractive headline for clicks and so forth. And overall, I think Microsoft is fine. I think this Activision Blizzard deal is going to happen anyway. It's too much money on the board not to. And I think, honestly, like, if it doesn't go through, that would be more damaging for everyone involved than not. So, yeah, let's keep the avenue open. Let's not say it's a done deal. But I'm of the belief that at this point, it's a pretty fair chance that this will go through. The thing about this is, because it's such a massive purchase, because we covered the Bethesda purchase when it happened last year. Last year? Yes. And, we were blown away that it ever happened because it was such a massive thing. And then it was immediately dwarfed just a few months later with the Activision Blizzard purchase. The thing is that if we block this now, that sets precedent. So it'll keep monopolies from forming in the future. It'll keep anything of this size from happening in the future. And to put it bluntly, like, I think that's a good idea, because I think, when something as big as Activision Blizzard can be purchased, that means EA's on the board. That means Ubisoft's on the board. That means Square Enix is on the board, even though Square Enix is quite a bit smaller now. That means Nintendo is on the board. Everybody's on the board. There are no rules anymore. So if it does get blocked, that does stop anything crazy like this from happening again. And if it doesn't, that means it can happen again. And will happen again. But I just think it's such a rare thing for something like this to happen. And I don't think Microsoft is going to take a chance of doing any other bigger purchases like this. I think they're done at this point, because now the feds are getting involved, and if they keep going and keep growing, then it's going to be a problem, and they're going to be broken up. Yeah. But as of right now, I think Microsoft is going to win this battle. If it comes to a battle, who knows? And I think they're going to get away with it. Get away with it as if it's like a grand heist or something. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. It's what makes it nerve-wracking is what comes after this, because video games are the highest grossing medium in the world in terms of entertainment. Pokemon alone, fucking huge, and we'll get into some of that in a little bit. But as of right now, keep an eye on it, but I don't think it's anything to start sweating over.
I mean, I think you made some great points there. It really is determined on whether the FTC decides, okay, we want to squash this stuff from happening in the future. Because the deal itself, it doesn't seem like there'd be much reason to try and prevent this from going through. But if they want to set that precedent to make sure that in the future other companies don't do the same thing and this doesn't become a snowball effect, that's the best angle that I could see them going for. But you are right. I don't think it's most likely not going to happen. And these things, you never know which way they are going to go until it's, an official announcement is made on whether they're proceeding with any kind of action. So I'm with you. I do hope it just goes through the way we've been thinking it's going to happen, and we don't really have any issues going forward with Microsoft buying more companies, because you are right. If they did any more, then that'd be a red flag, and they probably would have some actual action taken against them. It'd be pretty assured at that point, but not at this moment, I don't think.
And then just to expand on that story, bringing in our second topic of the day, my second penny. That was my first, ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't paying attention. Sony claims Microsoft's true strategy is to make PlayStation like Nintendo. This is a VGC article from Andy Robinson. Once again, Sony claims Microsoft is to make PlayStation like Nintendo. What a line. Sony has claimed that Microsoft's true strategy behind its proposed acquisition of Activision. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me take that from the jump. Sony has claimed that Microsoft's true strategy behind its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard is to have PlayStation become like Nintendo and not compete in the 18-rated shooter space. The comments were made in a newly published response to UK regulator, the Competition and Markets Authority's decisions to expand its investigation into the proposed acquisition. In its 22-page response, Sony Interactive Entertainment alleges that if the deal were to go through, users would leave PlayStation's ecosystem. Microsoft could raise Xbox prices, and independent developers would be harmed in the fallout. As has been the trend with the regulatory back and forth, much of the document focuses on Call of Duty and the perceived harm Sony claims Activision Blizzard deal would cause, should the flagship franchise be made exclusive to Xbox. In one section of its statement, the platform holder singles out comments made by Microsoft that other platforms have prospered without Call of Duty, including Nintendo Switch. In its latest response, Sony says this claim, quote, ignores the facts. SIE argues that Nintendo's strategy is differentiated from PlayStation and Xbox because it doesn't rely on 18-rated shooter franchises. Games, which it argues Microsoft will have virtual exclusive ownership of should Activision deal be approved by global regulators. In the sense, it alleges Microsoft's true strategy with Activision Blizzard deal is to make PlayStation like Nintendo, in that it doesn't compete in this space. Quote, Microsoft claims that Nintendo's differentiated model demonstrates that PlayStation doesn't need Call of Duty to compete effectively. But this reveals Microsoft's true strategy. SIC's statement reads, Microsoft wants PlayStation to become like Nintendo, so that it would be a less close and effective competitor to Xbox. Quote, post-transaction, Xbox would become the one-stop shop for all the best-selling shooter franchises on console. Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, Doom, Overwatch, as the decision explains. And it would then be free from serious competitive pressure. SIE's statement goes on to claim that Activision's games, quote, in particular Call of Duty, are critical to PlayStation. The franchise, quote, the franchise is firmly entrenched in the gamer's psyche. Every installment since Call of Duty was first released back in 2003 has consistently topped the charts. It states, going on to share redacted percentage figures of the share of its audience it believes it would lose to Xbox should Call of Duty go exclusive. Quote, ignoring these facts, Microsoft argues that Nintendo has been successful without access to Call of Duty, it continued. This misses the point. The decision identifies a wide body of evidence showing that Nintendo offers a differentiated experience to Xbox and PlayStation because it is focused on family-friendly games that are very different from the PEGI 18 FPS games like Call of Duty. This is supported by Microsoft's internal documents, which, so the CMA found, show that, quote, in general, Microsoft's internal documents track PlayStation more closely than Nintendo, with Nintendo often being absent from any internal competitive assessment. While the Activision deal has been approved by regulators in Saudi Arabia and Brazil, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority recently expanded its investigation to a second phase. It is in the process of inviting members of the public to share their views on the acquisition before giving its final decision by March 1st, 2023.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I think this, I just have to say,
Yeah.
I think this is single-handedly, in recent years, probably said something worse beforehand, the dumbest thing Sony has ever argued for. It is, in every aspect, it is stupid.
It's a reach. It's a reach for sure.
Now we know why they're saying this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like their company's going to be massively hurt. It's not like they're going to be delegated to being like Nintendo, which isn't even really a criticism because it's Nintendo, as we'll get into with another story later on. They're not exactly hurting all that much.
Yeah.
They could just make their own games. They don't have to play. They don't have to just put. No, we can't play. We can't have Call of Duty. We're done for. We're done for. It makes no damn sense. And also, 18 rated shooter space. Not a really. What? That's a weird section of gaming space. Like it's not the only thing out there. It's not the thing that makes the most money. And this is clearly just them wanting to keep the money that they get from games like Call of Duty, because they will be losing out on that. But it's Sony. They're not going to be hurting. They're going to be fine. They have almost of their eggs are in the single-player games basket. They make tons of money. They over the amount that they need on those games alone every single year.
It's the same week God of War just posted God of War is their fastest-selling first-party franchise at over 5 million copies in its first week.
Yeah, I know. The 18-rated shooter space isn't. It's lucrative, but it's not essential. It's not like if you do not have this part of the industry available to you, you're going to fail as a company or going to have to start doing layoffs or anything ridiculous. Somebody's fine. They just don't want to miss out on money, and they're trying to run and cry to the government to try and stop them from doing that because they know that's the best bet they have right now because that's all they got.
Also,
all they have.
Just a fucking slap in the face to fucking Bungie, bro. You own Bungie. What are you talking about? What?
Yep.
What is this? You're not gonna be made irrelevant in the shooter space. Like, you have Bungie, you've got Destiny. Like, that's a thing. Can we also just say how ridiculous it is to claim that, yes, okay, Call of Duty in the future will probably go exclusive, but to say that Overwatch will as well? Overwatch is already multi-platform. It's a games of service game. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna be on your platform till the end of time. Case in point, Minecraft is still there, bro. Like, you still have it. You can still sell Doom. And come on, Doom. Like, I love Doom. I love where Doom's at. I thought Doom Eternal was one of the best games of that year. You're gonna compare Doom to any of it? Like, Doom's not gonna hurt you, bro. Like, you're fine. Absolutely unsubstantiated claim. Totally just to make it seem worse than it is, so that, you know, PlayStation can keep Call of Duty and can keep those numbers rolling in, which I understand. That makes sense. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
But, like, also, like, just cut a deal with Xbox, get Game Pass on your console.
No. Because that would mean that Sony have to work with another company, and they don't want to do that.
They don't want to.
They never have. Yeah. They've always been very, very against trying to incorporate crossplay between PCs.
Also, are we just going to pretend like you didn't just create Haven Studios for this exact reason? You want multiplayer space. You want first-person shooter space in your first-party catalog. This is what you've been building towards for years now. This statement is baloney. It's garbage.
You know, one of the comments down in this Video Game Chronicle article by I/O mentions that they have Killzone, they have Resistance, they have SOCOM. Just don't dive into those again. You can make new games. You can make more games to fill in that space if Microsoft does end up taking away Call of Duty from you for a time. Get over it. You're Sony. You can make. You have money.
Or just make something new. Just make something new. Yeah. Create a. You know how Call of Duty got invented? It was called the Halo Killer. That's why they wanted to compete with Halo, and they also threw Battlefield under the bus for this. And I'm like, what for what fucking reason are y'all doing this, man?
Call of Duty stop making as much money.
I get it. Call of Duty's the big one. It's the big fish. We all said it when this went down. Yeah, Call of Duty, Candy Crush. That's a lot of money for Xbox all of a sudden. And I agree. It sucks that it will likely go to Xbox exclusive platforms. But there's ways around this. Xbox is more than willing to put Game Pass on other consoles. No one else wants to play with them. That's the problem, is you don't want to share the benefits. Well, now they're kind of waving their big dick around, so now you've either got to make something new, dig into your bag and revitalize something old, or shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Like,
and I don't think they're going to do that one.
Exactly.
If this is anything to go off of.
This is you know, big dick CEO types who make billions of dollars a year just waving their dick and trying to see who can get away with the most bullshit before the inevitable acquisition goes through.
But they're going to get less in their bonuses, Tavin. So that's very important.
Fuck your bonus, man.
I
don't know if I'm going to be able to pay for my semester next year. Like, come on. I will. Yeah. I'm fine. Okay. Anyways, anything else we got to say on this? It's just what a ridiculous statement to make PlayStation like Nintendo. Did you mention their close ties with From Software, who just put out one of the best selling games of the year? Like,
but they have that as well. Like they have so many other games. Just because you don't have all of the control in a specific area of gaming doesn't mean you need to stop it from going through because it's going to hurt us so badly. You can deal with it, and hopefully the FTC knows that as well, and they'll call them out on it, rather than thinking, oh no, you're right, Sony's going to be barred from these kinds of games, because there might be just one idiot on the FTC who decides, well, that's not going to issue. This might be a big problem, without knowing how well Sony does, which they obviously do good.
It's really just a matter of time before Sony buys FromSoft, or Sony buys they already have Blue Point. Sony buys what's left of Square Enix, or you know, a fraction of Ubisoft, something. You know, like this is a non-statement. This is a non-issue, and it's really just to like pile it on to the list of complaints they have, just so that they can make a better case. So they throw everything at the wall and hope something sticks. But no, it's just not. No. Good try though. It's cute.
Well, pretty bad try. No one was convinced.
No one believes you. Anyways, Connor, moving on to your first penny of the day and our third topic. The Witcher CD Projekt Red shares everything new in next-gen version. This is The Witcher 3, from IGN by Ryan Densdale. CD Projekt Red has finally shared gameplay footage of The Witcher 3's Wild Hunt, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series versions, also revealing every upgrade coming to the next-gen version of the 2015 RPG. Revealed during a CD Projekt Red Twitch live stream, a handful of developers outlined the upgraded visuals, brand new quests, cross-progression, and more that's coming to The Witcher 3 when the update is released on December 14th. CD Projekt Red confirmed that graphic settings will be added to console, letting players choose between 30 frames per second with ray tracing or 60 frames per second without. This will be available on all next-gen consoles, including Xbox Series S. The DLC, based on the Witcher Netflix series, has also been expanded into its own quest, which rewarded the players with the previously announced armor based on Henry Cavill's version of Geralt. An alternative outfit has also been made for Dandelion, making him look more like the Netflix series Jaskier. Multiple quality of life improvements. CD Projekt Red has also announced that cross-progression is coming to the Witcher 3 next-gen version, meaning players will be able to share their saves between PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Haptic feedback has been added to the PS5 version of the game, vibrating the controller in different ways when players clash swords with enemies or cast magic signs. Speaking of quality life improvements, have also been made regarding magic wielding. The left bumper activation to switch between different signs can now be changed. So when players hold the button down, the face button is changed to represent each one. Though slightly more advanced, this addition is intended to let players remain immersed in combat without having to enter a menu. Other quality of life improvements include changes to the map, as a new filter setting cleans up all those pesky question marks which fill each of The Witcher 3's worlds. This is also intended to add more immersion to the game, as players can encounter different events more naturally instead of treating them as a checklist. The mini-map has been made more dynamic as well, as it is an on-screen, and on-screen objectives will now disappear as players explore the world on horseback or fight in combat. It can be brought up again with a single button press. However, keeping Geralt from getting lost as he explores the continent. Some minor accessibility features have been added too, including the ability to change the left stick to auto sprint instead of it having being a face button prompt, and more subtle settings. CD Projekt Red has also addressed a number of quest bugs and performance issues alongside improving various models of foliage and other background features. For PC, the next-gen update adds ray tracing alongside more extensive customization options and a new photo mode. A new camera angle is also being added for more dramatic and cinematic gameplay. The optional camera sits a little closer to Geralt and off to one side, somewhat akin to The Witcher 3's original reveal trailer. And then it was worth mentioning that, the next-gen update got passed around. It was, going to be done by an outside studio. They brought it in, and then it got delayed a year and so forth. But, CD Projekt Red was like, it's fine. It's not in any worry. And I think this speaks to that. It looks great. The improved texture quality is actually jaw-dropping. It's amazing that a game from this long ago can look this good now. This is all old footage old images that I'm showing you here. Oh, this looks new. Unless The Witcher 3 is really just this beautiful. No, that's old. That's old. Anyways, I'm actually super excited about that. I didn't really have any interest in returning to The Witcher 3 anytime soon, but all of these added features, the expanded DLC questline, and my choice between ray tracing or 60 frames per second, the changes in button mapping, all sounds fucking great to me. And honestly, I might hop in, especially because it's fucking free, which is insane. They've done a whole bunch of work. They could have easily said $20. And I would have gladly been like, yeah, sure, here's $20 when the time came. But now it's free, and I'm like, what am I doing in December? A whole lot, but, I think this is great. This is exciting, and I'm a big fan of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and, this might just get me to load back up into it.
Yeah, I had been planning on playing it again when this came out, and seeing all the additions that they're adding, I'm really excited to hop into it. This is what it needed. I mean, Witcher 3 is considered one of the greatest games ever made by a lot of people. And CD Projekt Red, who made it, haven't been having the best reputation as of late, obviously because of their failure with the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. So this is a good return to form, and gives me hope that they are actually going to be turning around, which obviously, this game looks beautiful based off the screenshots that we got so far. So really have no reason to not hop back into this. I'm really excited for this.
And if you watch the video, the new camera angle is dope. Because I've always felt that the camera was too far back on Geralt, which is cool for a game like that with wide vistas and stuff, and you want to see the environments and so forth. I get it, but I'm excited to have it kind of close and center and have me more in the action now.
Yeah, especially for combat, which that more detached feeling with the camera made it not as fun. And Witcher's not exactly known for its amazing combat, so I'm really excited to see how well it performs now with these updates. So that seems like it at least will be a jump in quality. How much, I don't know until I actually get my hands on it.
It'll be about the same.
But yeah, well,
in terms of combat and mechanics, like nothing's changing there. But like, I do like basically having short keys for your spells instead of trying to find them in a weapon wheel. That's highly appreciated. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, all that sounds great. All sounds fantastic. I don't know how about the PS5 controller stuff. We'll see, but
yeah.
I'm actually excited for this remaster or this update. I think it's worth everybody's time. If you've played The Witcher 3 and then fell off or didn't beat it, or if you've just been thinking about going back, this is a perfect excuse. This is a great reason to go back.
Yeah.
And then finally, before we move on to our Pokemon Scarlet and Violet review, ladies and gentlemen, our final topic of the day, Connor, your second penny of the day. Pokemon selling. Lots of sells. From Polygon, Nicole Carpenter, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sells 10 million copies in spite of performance complaints. Nintendo said Wednesday that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold more than 10 million copies within the first 3 days since the Nintendo Switch launch. The games were released November 18th and have since reached the, quote, highest global sales level for any software on any Nintendo platform within the first 3 days. This is in spite of a launch that's been marred by a number of serious performance and graphical issues. Connor, real quick, look up for me real quick. What did GTA 5 sell in its first 3 days in terms of copies? It's been a major record-breaking release for Nintendo, surpassing a huge launch with Pokemon Sword and Shield in 2019. The Pokemon Company's 8th generation games sold 6 million units worldwide over the launch weekend. With the record-breaking sales, however, the Pokemon Company seems to be having one of its biggest launches yet, too. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet launched with Pokemon and NPC pop-in issues, horrendous frame rates, and characters and Pokemon clipping through the world. A lot of the bugs are actually pretty amusing, but some are crashing the game. On Wednesday, Digital Foundry, which is known for its technical analysis of games, criticized the game, quote, comprehensive technical failures, saying they're a step back from Pokemon Legends Arceus, the other semi-open world game the Pokemon Company released this year. A number of players have been asking for refunds on the game due to the performance problems, and a lot of those players said they've gotten them. The thing is, despite Scarlet and Violet's issues, the games are what a lot of Pokemon fans were looking for. They're the first major iteration on the mainline series games, creating an open world in which Pokemon trainers can choose their own adventures through 3 different quest lines. On top of that, players are finally able to head out on adventures with friends in Scarlet and Violet's multiplayer component.
Oh, now I got the numbers for GTA 5's first 3 days. It sold more than 16.5 million copies. More units.
All right. So not quite the highest, the fastest selling launch of all time. But is that even GTA? What is the fastest selling launch of all time for video games?
I do not know. I would assume it's GTA 5 since those guys just, man, they don't stop.
16.5 in 3 days is fucking nuts. But this is also fucking nuts, especially for a platform exclusive game. Granted, they're selling 2 games at a time, so they're cheating a little bit. But congratulations, Nintendo. Congratulations to the Pokemon Company. If only the game ran better.
Right. It is GTA 5, by the way. The highest selling game of all time.
The fastest selling.
Fastest selling, yes.
Okay.
followed by Cyberpunk 2077.
Interesting.
Yeah, too bad that didn't pan out.
I don't think that those numbers have been updated since Pokemon.
Yeah, probably not.
And congratulations, you guys have found a hit. Hopefully, y'all are listening to fans, and maybe hit the brakes a little bit. Maybe scale up, get your team a little bigger or something to make these games run a little better. Because even you've been the Switch has been criticized for its visual fidelity since it launched, and it's only getting worse. Pokemon Legends Arceus launched with a whole bunch of problems. Pokemon Sword and Shield, everyone thought was ugly as shit. And though this one is not ugly, or as ugly at least, it doesn't run well. So that's a problem. And you're really just kind of poisoning the well and poisoning the reputation of Switch games as a whole. But if the units are selling, the units are selling. So I guess I should just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you see, that's the issue, because on one hand, that should be a big boost to hire more people, to make the game less glitchy upon release in future installments, that is. But at the same time, they know now that they can get this much money with a game that's not fully working out the gate. So they might just say, well, why should we change anything? If it works, it works, and we save money, we save money. Because these, honestly, as a guy who doesn't play Pokemon, I don't really care about the glitches because they're funny. And I see them online, and they are just wacky looking. So I only get enjoyment out of them. But obviously, for people who actually play the games, the same can't be said.
Sorry to cut you off. As of September, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which launched in January, February, we have a review up for that as well. If you want to go check out that and see what Phil thought about that one, 13.91 million global units sold. So they're probably over the 14 million mark now, because these numbers are from September, so we're 2-3 months away from that. Combined 24 million units sold in a single year for Pokemon. It's pretty good franchise numbers.
I mean, it's Pokemon. It has the title of Pokemon, which is usually enough to have people just come out in droves, and obviously they did. But damn impressive, as far as Nintendo's catalog goes.
It really is amazing, and it was like, the God of War Ragnarok posted their numbers of 5.1 million in its first week or whatever, crushing PlayStation single first party sales. But then, same day or the next day or whatever, Pokemon, dropped the bomb with this 10 million number. And it's just like, holy shit, what the fuck? And what's crazy is like, maybe it's just me in the circles I run in, but I didn't feel the hype for this one.
No.
I felt it for Legends Arceus. I felt it for Sword and Shield. I felt it for the Let's Go games. I didn't feel it for Scarlet and Violet. So I'm kind of surprised that this is happening.
You did see it for those other games?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All Pokemon stuff usually only hits my radar if it does successful numbers after it comes out, not beforehand. I didn't see this coming either, because they just came up with this 10 million copies in a couple days out of nowhere to me.
Freaking nuts.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and cut to our review from the young Phil Shoemaker of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. He's been playing the game all week. He'll tell you how he feels about it and if it's worth your time and money, even through all of the glitches and so forth. Remember, you can get this podcast every week, youtube.com/2pennygames, and mainstream podcast services of your choice. We go live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, and we have reviews popping every Sunday, hype videos going up every Tuesday, news breakout views every Friday, TikToks and shorts whenever I can, which is usually throughout the week. I usually get about 1 or 2 out every week. So yeah, check all of those out. They're all out on the channel right now. Remember, we've got our God of War Ragnarok spoiler talk. Is that next week? That's next week.
It is.
Holy crap. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, come back for that. If you liked our God of War Ragnarok review, which is live right now on the channel, make sure you come back next week for that God of War Ragnarok spoiler talk as a part of our 2-penny game club, our monthly video game book club, in which we, play a game in the background throughout the month and then come back and review it and give you all of our spoilerish thoughts, and then we rank them against each other for funsies. I have a feeling this one's going to go pretty high, but you're going to have to come back next week to find out. But let's go ahead and cut straight over to Phil's review. Connor, You can go ahead and take over for here, my man.
All right. What's popping, two penny players? My name is Connor.
No, I thought it would have been funnier if we just like looked at the camera.
All right, we're gonna talk about. Yeah, that would have been fun. Damn it. Well.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if we hadn't spent so long trying to get this whole thing prepared.
Yeah, no worries.
Done that.
Connor's going to tell us about Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. So I played over the past week Pokemon Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. What is it called?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Scarlet and Violet. Okay, yeah.
Scarlet and Violet. Yep.
I actually thought.
What were your thoughts?
Wrong. Well, it's a Pokemon game. Lots of bugs. Am I right, Twitter?
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, joke's over. Joke's over. Connor didn't play it. I played it. I'm the Pokemaniac. I'm the resident Pokemaniac of the Two Penny Gamescast. Yeah, so I've had my little pause on the game since it released. I went to Target and picked up, because they were out of double pack, so I picked up Scarlet for me, Violet for Ash, and they gave me a little figure, a cute little figure. It's in my living room right now, so I can't really show it.
One of the starters.
It's just all three of the starters. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
cute.
They gave you one of each.
No, it's like they're on like a little stand.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's cute. Anyway, yeah, I think as far as quality of life goes, this is like one of the better Pokemon games. I'm pretty happy with like the systems that are implanted in it. I think the main issue that a lot of people are having is execution as far as like the quality of the game.
Why?
In terms of performance, that is. Plenty of frame drops, lots of pop in. But it's small indie dev. They're producing, Pokemon's not that big, so
it's on the Switch. One of the worst pieces of modern gaming technology in the terms of its performance, but
yeah,
it's
just on the same system that can handle Xenoblade Chronicles and all that and run perfectly fine. And then you have Pokemon, but no, Pokemon. It's kind of unacceptable that they would release a game this kind of half baked in terms of quality. I don't know. I think I'm overall, as far as the game itself, I'm happy. Open world is really fun. They kind of expanded on the open world aspects of Legends Arceus and made it actually open, because in Legends Arceus it was more like just like 4 big maps that you can go and explore. This one is literally like the entire map. I think I can show on the recording here how big this fucking map is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's big map.
Does it take a lot of time to traverse it just on foot?
Oh, dude, I haven't even been all over the place yet. I have not even been all over the place. I put maybe 12 or so hours into the game.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 badges. I did a bunch of there's these Titans that you can challenge. Like they're like big oversized Pokemon.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
they give you little power-ups for your bike Pokemon, which is the box art legendary Miraidon, or Miraidon if you're playing Violet, Koraidon if you're playing Scarlet. And they power him up. So like originally when you first get him, he's just like a regular bike that you just move forward on. Then you beat the first Titan, you get like a little dash. The second Titan, you get the ability to jump higher. Then third one you can I think glide. Oh no, sorry, no. The third one you can swim faster, because you can kind of go in the water on your Pokemon, but it's like really really slow. Because you yourself as the trainer, you can't swim. So yeah, then after that you get a glide, and then I'm assuming after you beat the 5th one, I haven't beaten the 5th one yet, you get like the ability to climb mountains and stuff.
Damn. So
as far as
to go over terrain just easier.
Yeah, it's so the way it worked, at least in Legends Arceus, is that you would unlock these little mounts, different Pokemon that did different things. Like there was a bird that you could glide on, there was a fish you could swim on, there was a big like deer that you could run fast and jump on things. There was like one like mountain climbing Pokemon that you would go on. There's all that stuff. They kind of just put it all together on one Pokemon in this one. You could tell from just right there how bad the load times are. Like that was one load to get from me challenging a gym to the actual gym fight.
Some of
It's
these things
actually
are making more
worse.
sense now. Things
Yeah.
I've seen, I was like, oh my god.
It's actually worse in docked mode, like as far as like frame skips and stuff. It functions better in handheld mode. Yeah.
Is it standard? It always seems like the dock one works better than
That's
the mobile.
that's what I thought too, but maybe it's the reverse. I don't know. It's been a while since I've dusted off the old Switch, you know.
Yeah, and I don't play it. Take it where I go. I just play it at home.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like, so they kind of let you have free reign as soon as you finish like the first couple hours. They're like, hey, here you go. Like you basically start off, you choose your Pokemon, you meet your rival, you battle her, you go to school, and then you sleep in a bed, and then like you're challenged to do the treasure hunt. It's the Paldean treasure hunt is what they call it. That's what the journey is in this game. And it's basically you find your treasure, quote unquote. May it be adventure, may it be becoming the champion of all the gyms, whatever it is. And so they literally just open up the map to you and say, "Here you go. Here's your Pokemon bike. Go do your thing." They limit you, so it's really open, but you are still limited as far as like. Obviously, you don't have as much traversal from the beginning for your bike. You don't have the. I think what they did as far as like tweaking difficulty is they just made a lot of like harder to reach areas higher level, and other parts of the map have higher level Pokemon. Like there's two open spaces, like where the first couple, like there's like the grass gym and the bug gym, like the easy gyms to start, right? They're all under like level 10 to 15, all the Pokemon that are wild. So by the time you finish your school, your starter is going to be at like 15 or 16 already evolved, you know? So they did a pretty good job as far as balancing goes. I do wish that the gyms were dynamic. That's what a lot of people thought that whenever an open world Pokemon was announced that it would be, and that just means like they would scale the gym Pokemon to like where you're at in your journey. So like how many gyms you have would make the gym harder, or if you don't have any badges, or how many badges you have would make the gym harder, or vice versa. If you don't have any, wherever you started, they would have the lowest level team, and that's kind of how it functions in like the Pokemon universe or whatever in the show and like the anime, where like if you have certain number of badges, this trainer might only send out 3 Pokemon, but if you have all of them, he's going to have a full team of 6, you know? And they're all going to be leveled up. So a lot of people, at least I was hoping that they would do that. They did not do that here. They kind of just had each of them at like a static level. So there's kind of a canonical path you should follow as far as gyms go. But you're not really, as far as how it used to be in the Pokemon games, you're not stuck to that path. You can go and challenge fucking the 8th gym if you want right off the bat. You're gonna get fucking slammed, but you can do it.
It's like Elden Ring.
Yeah, right. This is the Elden Ring of the Pokemon games.
It sounds like so far. Not even a joke. It seems like it's the most open world.
It's pretty impressive, you know. Like as far as like the concept, this is as I mean, people said it with Legends Arceus, but I think this is just a massive step in the right direction for Pokemon as far as like freshness. I just wish they had let it bake in the oven for a little longer. Mm-hmm. But you know, the way, at least with Pokemon, when you have Pokemon shills like me, who will take anything with the name Pokemon on it and just feast on it, you know, just give me it, take my money. You're not gonna, it's not gonna turn anybody away. There is a really cool new mechanic in this game that kind of requires a little bit of thought, and here they're doing it right there. It's called terastallizing. It's like the mega evolution of this gen.
Dynamaxing.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's not. There's no Dynamaxing in this game. At least not that I've seen yet. I don't think there is.
And is it so that Dynamaxing? Did you like it in the last game, or because I saw a lot?
Yeah.
I saw. No,
I liked it. I thought it was pretty neat. I just see the way they do it with Pokemon is instead of adding things, they kind of replace things. They replace gimmicks. So like they did that with Mega Evolution. They did that with Z moves. So they went from Gen 6 to 7. They replaced Mega Evolutions with Z moves. 7 to 8, they replaced Z moves to Dynamaxing. And now 8 to 9, they've replaced Dynamaxing with Terastallizing. And Terastallizing is basically you find a Pokemon that has a certain Terra type, and that might change their type altogether. So like, oh, I'll send out my fire type starter, right? Oh wait, it's against the grass gym. Oh, sorry. Well, a better example is I have my water type starter. They actually showed it in some of the trailers. I have my water type starter. I'm going against the grass gym because they're about to send out a rock type Pokemon that's supposed to pretend to be a tree. But wait, it's actually going to be grass because he's going to turn it into a grass type with Terastallizing. So you can change your Pokemon's type in the middle of the battle, and that can it makes you think a little more, but it's still a baby game, Like it's still easy as hell. You throw out your main Pokemon, it's probably going to win most of the time. There's another new mechanic in this game that they're actually leaning pretty hard on, which is the Let's Go mechanic, which is basically like you send your Pokemon out and it can walk with you. It can battle other Pokemon for severely reduced experience without you having to command it to do anything. And they use that mechanic more there's like a gang war arc kind of in this game where it's like there's Team Stars, the evil team, and you infiltrate their bases and they throw like a horde of Pokemon at you. So you have like however many you send out to do Let's Go, and they'll all take out the Pokemon. That's kind of neat. It's cute. There's like a boss fight after that, like you have to beat like 30 Pokemon within, I think it's 10 minutes, and usually you're done in two minutes. It's pretty fun. It's a neat mechanic, but what's cool is they actually tied some evolutions of Pokemon to having them out of their Pokeball and having them walk with you. Like there's a Pokemon that's literally like you have to take 1,000 steps with it outside the Pokeball for it to evolve. So that's kind of neat. There's also full on like multiplayer in this game. Previously, I think as far as multiplayer goes, the most they ever had was in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. You could like have a second controller and have a second person just be like another person to throw a Pokeball, and then it was like basically they couldn't interact with anything, they couldn't do anything. But here, it's almost like your person that you're joined in on can still progress their game, and you can progress your game while you're in somebody else's world. It's pretty cool. The only thing that's an issue is performance kind of drops sometimes. You can't really challenge like the Titan Pokemon. You can't challenge them together. You can only challenge them solo. So that would have been kind of neat. That multiplayer also goes into like these dens, which is another thing that it's like for raid battles and Pokemon Sword and Shield. They have that with terastallized Pokemon in this one. So they'll show like what type the Pokemon or what Terra type the Pokemon's going to be and how it's going to terastallize. So it's like, oh, this one's a flying type, so you better get your electric type out. It's like this one's a fire type, you gotta get your water type. This is me going into a lot of the shops now. They're not actual buildings; they're just menus that you open up.
Oh, that seems part of that half mentality.
Yeah. So and also like it takes forever to load your character with wearing the new thing. It's not great performance wise. I've said it a few times. It's nothing you haven't heard already. If you've been on social media and heard people talk about it, there's like, I think literally day one there was already compilations of like people's favorite glitches of this game. Like I've run into a couple. There's a couple that I've seen online that I was like, oh yeah, that happened to me yesterday. Like there's one of you being on your mount and you challenge a Pokemon and you throw a Pokeball and it's just an invisible person throwing a Pokeball. I've had that happen a few times. But it doesn't. It's not game breaking. It's still functional.
Yeah,
it's still something that I'm not happy about it, but I can overlook it.
Sure. It never seemed to be like offensive in the sense it's just messing up your game entirely, or messing up any kind of XP you get or anything that actually could impact gameplay. It just seems like it's kind of funny. A lot of people say it just adds to the charm of it. Obviously, it's not a pass for it being.
It's a feature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. It was what they intended all along. It's the developer's vision brought forth. But not
Oh man. But yeah, man, it's Pokemon. It's fun. I'm a shill for it. I'll play it anyway. Doesn't make a difference to me.
Is it a lot better?
I say
Oh,
go ahead.
No,
No, you know,
my question's gonna wait.
No. Please take my question. It was. I wasn't going anywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, so you played Sun and Moon and Sword and
Mhm.
Shield, right? Yeah,
I played every single Pokemon game.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a true Pokemon fan if you hadn't. So, is it like with how the technical issues aside, since those are just technical issues and can be phased out and fixed in later games, and obviously Pokemon games aren't really well known for having a lot of technical issues, unless I'm mistaken. No, they didn't seem
No.
like they did. So as far as the systems they have in place and the way that it changed Pokemon with this new entry, do you want them to continue kind of going forward with this, or keep experimenting with a lot more newer ideas?
Definitely, I think this is the right way to go. I just think they're taking baby steps when they should be, when they're definitely able to. They have the resources to be able to take bigger steps and make more polished steps anyway. Yeah, it's just this overall. I am.
We got a lot of
There's like two sides of me on this, right? I'm not happy that it's fucked up like this, but I'm also overjoyed that they did such a huge spin on it and then they made it, because like I get excited over Pokemon every time something like a new game comes out for it. I loved Legends Arceus. There were some problems I had with it that I think are solved in this game. But it seems like, we're cutting off the Hydra's head, like it's just where one problem goes away, we start to suffer with performance, like two more ugly heads grow back. I fully plan on continuing to I haven't beaten the game. I fully plan on continuing playing the game. I usually like, at least from the past few games, I like to fully 100% complete the Pokedex and just map everything out and learn all about these Pokemon. I love the Pokedex in this game, by the way. I love the cute. It's a cute little book every time you catch a new Pokemon. It's cute. I do miss the actual research part of Legends Arceus, because like they actually made you like, oh, watch a Pokemon do this move however many times, instead of just being a random blurb of flavor text. It's like you actually get to learn about this Pokemon.
Okay.
So I do kind of miss that. But other than that, I think it's really cute. You can also take pictures to replace the pictures in the Pokedex. There's like a full camera that you can take pictures of Pokemon and replace their entries.
Yeah, how is the camera function in general? Because I saw people using that to take photos with the NPCs, but not really much with Pokemon.
It's pretty cute. I mean, you just take selfies with your Pokemon. They don't. Most games nowadays that have integrated camera, like they'll have the NPCs like acknowledge the camera.
Yeah.
I haven't really taken pictures of NPCs, but I've taken some pictures of Pokemon, and they don't give a shit about your camera. Like they will like, I tried to take a selfie with my starter and it just like walked into me and like I couldn't even get a good angle on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume Game Freak would be implementing that kind of feature in it where they could recognize.
Yeah. The only like the game that comes to my mind is Kingdom Hearts 3, where you take a picture with like Goofy and he's like takes a little salute. He's like, yeah, so nothing like that.
Yeah,
at least as far as the Pokemon goes. But no, this I'm having a good time with it. I think if they keep making games like this, then I don't know. I just wish they let it bake for a little longer and didn't rush it out for the holiday season, because I can wait. This isn't going to go win any awards, but it's a fun game.
Well,
money is the root of all evil, as they say, and that doesn't stray away from Pokemon. So
it is not. At least you got, because Arceus came out this year, right?
Yeah, it came out in February.
Yeah, so at least you got Arceus.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like, because would you say it's kind of a better game than this one overall?
It's a different game.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a different game.
Classic Pokemon versus new Pokemon.
Yep. And this is kind of a blend of the two, of like the new and the old.
Hopefully,
So
hopefully moving.
I'll have to play more. I'll have to play more to actually like figure out if I like Arceus better.
Did you not beat Arceus?
Oh, I beat Arceus. I 100% Arceus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have expected you to. Well.
Yep.
In that case, what is it? What do we always do our ratings here? Is it 1 out of 10?
We do ratings here
No.
on the.
No.
Oh, okay, we don't.
No.
I mean, we usually only rate games whenever me and Tavin are doing like hype or whatever.
Yeah, we definitely don't do that here. We're anti IGN. We don't have a problem with too much water.
Too much water.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's like the length I know of IGN's review of Pokemon games being not taken seriously.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, too much water.
Mm-hmm. You heard it here, and you heard it at IGN. You heard it here. There is too much water. Well, this is usually the time where Tavin would say, like, all right, you can check us out on the 2 Penny Gamescast at Twitch / 2 Penny Gamescast.
No, Twitch is 2 Penny Games.
Twitch is 2 Penny Games. You're right.
Yep.
We're at 2 Penny Games now. No. Yeah, see, I can't.
I'm usually live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time. I skipped this past week because I wasn't feeling too good. Check us out on every on your podcast. What's the podcast resource of choice? What's the thing?
Damn, Tavin.
Fucking Spotify, iTunes. I don't know. Apple Podcasts. I don't know.
Yeah,
no, I don't fucking know.
You can listen to our podcast on Spotify. That is true. That is, if you can't,
SoundCloud. I know we have that one.
Mm-hmm. Still, though I don't.
Fuck,
think,
man. I don't know. I don't. I'm not the one in charge of the outros. That's Tavin's thing. He's in Chicago right now. That's why it's just us.
Yeah, I would say that I would try and remember his outro more to do it, but I'm just not going to debase myself. I'll just give Tavin more props for doing this every single time because my God, he does this like twice a week now.
Yeah, he does this a lot.
He is an actor.
There was talks about me taking over hosting Piggy Bank, but that hasn't come to fruition just yet.
No. Yet. Who knows?
Yet.
Who knows?
Who knows?
What the future may hold.
Who knows? Well, anyway, I'm having a good time with Pokemon. If you're a longtime Pokemon fan, I recommend you check it out. Form your own opinions as well. Let us know what you think about Pokemon. Drop a comment.
Please comment. I feel so lonely in those comment sections.
Please clap.
Please clap.
But anyway, yeah. Let us know what's your favorite new Pokemon in the Pokedex.
Yeah, answer that question. Do something. Say something. But
well, anyway,
we will come back to with more cool video game news and cool video game reviews.
Yeah, you guys. This is probably going on the end of y'all's podcast on Sunday, so
I guess so. I don't even know.
Y'all are probably watching this on Monday.
You might be, or we might do it separately. Who knows? I guess you'll find out.
I don't know what Tavin wants to do. Anyway, without further ado, Connor, why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to the people?
Damn it! I'm still in this role. Goodbye. I'm the one who pressed stop and record. Damn it.